Hey guys, it's Krista with Krista Marie Design, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this super cute little card here. It's my first in a series that I plan on doing for you guys, but it's going to be, I'm going to be doing a lot of Christmas cards here. So this is our first one, and I'm going to show you how easy this card is to make. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you're going to need is your card base, 8.5 by 5.5. You're going to fold that in half. Use a bone folder. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side. And you know what? I'm actually making 3 of these in our video today to show you guys how easy it is just to make a series of them. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half. So I'm going to fold this. All 3 of these are whipped cream cardstock. Okay, and then you're going to need 3 pieces or 4, however many cards you're making. These are, let's see, 4 by 5.25. So 4 by 5.25. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to use my colorless blender to get the backs of these ready, because I'm going to be doing some embossing on these. So let me get my little applicator out. So I just went and got my large applicator because I'm going to be covering a very large space here. So I'm going to get this, and I'm just covering the whole thing. Actually, let's use this other size. So I'm just covering the whole thing. And this just allows me to emboss in the area that I only want to get, where I don't get it in other areas. Okay, so I have my 3 pieces now. I'm going to be using 2 stamps here. I have, this one is by Penny Black. It's just a really cute little snowman. You can use any snowman. And then I'll be using this one from Inkadoo, I think is what it's called. Inkadinkadoo. So anyway, it's this little Merry Christmas here, and I love these stamps. So okay, so I'm going to start with my snowman, and I'm actually going to be heat embossing. But I found a really cool little trick that if you're heat embossing with white, use white, our white fusion inks, because they're nice and wet and stuff, and that way, instead of having to use so much powder, and you get a better image. So anyway, these are our fusion inks. This is from Fun Stamper's Journey. And I think you'll really like these. So I'm just going to take this and ink this up. You don't have to push very hard. This has a lot of ink in it. So I'm just going to cover that real quick. And then I'm placing this on my stamp about 1/2 inch from the bottom. Really cute. And then the same thing with my sentiment stamp. Ink that up. Place that about right here. Placed it kind of over to the left instead of right in the center because I'm going to be writing across here. And then I'm going to take my white embossing powder and I'm going to just cover that right there. Perfect. I still got it a little bit, but that's okay. It's perfect. I'm going to quickly do 2 more of those. So I have my snowman. My sentiment, and if you'll notice, I always put my stamps face up and stamp down like this. I try to do that every time just because it's easier for me to see that my stamp got all the ink that it needs. I'm going to set that one to the side. And one more. Perfect. Now you could, if you don't have white embossing powder, you could just heat set this and leave this just like this. But I liked the white embossing powder, so that's why I'm using this. There we go. There we go. Looks good. This one kind of stuck just a little bit. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put this back in the jar. Get this closed here. There we go. Anyway, this is our Fun Stamper's Journey white embossing powder. I'll set that to the side. Whipped cream whipped cream ink pad and our colorless blender. Okay, so now let me grab my heat gun. Sorry, I usually have this out and plugged in next to my desk at all times, but I taught a class on Thursday night and was using it. Okay, so I'm just going to heat set these real fast. Zoom that in for you guys. Okay, so I have my three guys here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see how I'm going to color him in here. Now, before I actually color, let me just set these to the side. I'm going to clean them up later. Before I actually color them, I like to take a dry wipey and clean them off. Because I have that colorless blender on the back, they're kind of like a gray color, and so I just clean them off to darken them back up. Now, if you wanted to, because see the difference between the black and the gray, if you wanted to, you could take a wet wipey, as long as it's very faintly wet, not super wet. And very faintly go over that and pull that color off. I mean, yeah, the colorless blender off. So, because even with a wet wipe, I'm going to show you with one. Even with a wet wipe, as long as it's not like super drenched, as long as it's kind of aired out, I'm just going to take this, oops, and just go down that. You can see the difference between the two. Well, kind of. There you go. You can kind of see the difference. It's a little darker with the wet wipe as opposed to without. So, but this is good for me. Okay. So now we have our three pieces. I'm going to zoom back in so you can see how I color this guy. So, I'm going to take my white colored pencil and I'm going to color in the snowman. And you could get really fun with some shading here. I'm not going to worry about all of that detail. I just want, and this embossing powder is still a little warm, so it's flaking off, but if you wait until it's really nice and cooled off, then you won't have that problem with the flaking. Okay. And you can see it really picks up that white. And get his face real good. Okay. And this works best, the lighter the color you have, the better it looks. So I'm going to use a light green to color in his earmuffs here. And his scarf, we're going to do every other one. There. And then I'm going to use red to color in the opposite ones. There we go. And orange, let's use this one. Orange for his little nose. Orange is a little hard to pick up. Orange for his little nose, and I'm going to use a light brown for his arms. there you go. Super, super, super easy to color him in. And I kind of like using the wax ones because they kind of give that shiny effect when they're done. I'm not going to waste the time to color these in just yet. I'll worry about those after our video. So we have our card here. I'm going to take a white and gold. This pen, I love our Fun Stampers Journey metallic pens. This is our pigment ink. And this is our gold. And so what I'm going to do is just do, well, first I'm going to do stripes all the way around. And you could do little short skinny ones. Here, I'll do that on this card. Sorry, let me pull my chair up. If you didn't like the big chunky stripe, you could do, or dashed line, you could do little ones. Some people prefer that. Most cards, I do these little ones. I just thought the big chunky one looked good on this one. Looks good. Okay. And then I'm going to take the same thing with the gold here, and I'm going to write everyone underneath because I want it to say Merry Christmas everyone. So I don't usually write that slow. Cute. Okay, so that one was the really slow one. Much better. I like that one much better. Okay. So I have everyone on all three of these, and then I'm going to take and do just a few snowflakes around the outside edge here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my white pen and I'm going to do actually bigger, chunkier snowflakes. So I'm just pushing a little harder. This pen is from Recollections. Let me see if I can get the lid on. It's by Recollections Signature Opaque Marker. Man, do I love this marker. Doing a little chunkier ones, and I'm doing a little bit more than I did the gold. Yeah, super cute. You could even just make this card without coloring it in. two options for that. You can leave it colored, or you can leave it uncolored and just send it just like that, so that I mean, that's the way that it will look. Or send this to a kid, a little one, and send a package of colored pencils and tell them they can color it in. Okay, so now that I have my card done, I'm going to use some adhesive and adhere these down. So I'm just going to flip that over. So there's one. Two. And three. And you can see, and it took me 25 minutes to make 3 cards. Probably would have taken me 30 minutes, and I would have had four cards done with the coloring and everything. So there's you a nice, easy set of Christmas cards. Like I said, this is going to be a series, so couple of times this month, and next month I'll be doing some Christmas cards with you guys. I plan on starting very simple. As you can see, these don't use pop dots. They're very simple and they're very flat. These are great for sending in the mail. I will be getting more elaborate as I go along and using more materials and doing more techniques, so that way you guys can see a little bit more difficult things to do along the way. So I hope you guys had fun. Be sure to check me out on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Krista Marie Design, spelt with a K, and I'm also on YouTube and Instagram. Thanks, guys.